Forecasting. I think we can all agree that we all suck at it. Probably the primary reason, especially in B2B SaaS, is that so few transactions, those transactions have such poor data that you can't really take a quantitative method for forecasting. You need to use qualitative measures. So really, probably the best recommendation is to take advantage of the little field called Forecast Category that most CRM systems offer. So on any given opportunity, you would identify if that opportunity is pipeline, best case, committed, or you may want to omit from the forecast. And by using that field, you can assemble a base forecast and a stretch forecast. And what the base forecast should be representative of is all the deals that have closed in the period that you want to measure, and then basically all the committed deals. So all it is closed won and committed. And so that would become your base forecast. That's the forecast that you want to hand over to your CFO or whoever's managing kind of the cash projections for the business. And then as the eternal optimist that typically sales leaders are, you may want to create a stretch forecast. So all the difference between stretch and base is simply that not only you're going to include committed deals and won deals, you'll also include your best case deals. So then the two of them set up your kind of range. And you can present both to your CFO or your CEO, but really the CFO, being more conservative, kind of conservative minded, risk averse, will probably just want to work from the kind of the base forecast. But at least you're fulfilling your obligation of providing both numbers, and then they can choose to model. Now, when you're really creating a forecast, you ideally want to set up different money fields, right? So typically in SaaS deals, you could have $1 million deal, but maybe it's 5 years, could be $100K in ARR, 5 years makes 500, and then $500K in services. Or, maybe it's $1 million in ARR. Like, the makeup of that deal is going to really impact that kind of cash flow conversation, right? So ideally, you're able to separate all the money fields. So, for example, in tech stack, we would separate the ARR value from the one-time fees value, which is typically services, and or hardware, from the total contract value, which would be the combination of the one-time plus the ARR times the number of years on the term that you're closing. So you ideally want to separate all that kind of stuff out. If you're going to review deals and taking a qualitative measure, and let's say you're looking at 40 deals and trying to figure out what you should have in that sales forecast, there's a couple key indicators as a sales leader that you want to look for. Number one, how long has that deal been in the current stage, and how long did it stay in the first stage? That is always a great indicator. Deals that stay in the first stage for 180 days never close, right? But if the deal moved out of that first stage very quickly, let's say discovery to demo or proposal, and got out of there fast, that typically shows momentum. The other great indicator is how much is your primary contact engaged with the seller. So you really want to get a measure of that. Now, Tech Stack, we make it easy. We present those two values on the opportunity, front and center for the sales leader, but, generally you may have to hunt down that kind of information. A couple other key indicators on deals. Naturally, you want to keep all the close dates in the future, right? So often you see deals that have past due close dates. Clearly, there's a hygiene issue there. You may want to look how long a deal's been kind of stuck in the current stage. So you want to measure how many days in each stage. So deals that have been, stuck in the current stage for, 6 months, really question whether or not they should be on a forecast or in the funnel at all for that measure. But those are kind of things you want to look out for. Is the rep actually filling in any information? Do you have stakeholders, competitors on the deal? Are they filling in narrative information about the deal? For example, current situation, future state, kind of new reality kind of stuff. Sometimes those narrative deals really give you an indication if the seller really understands what's going on in the deal as well. So really good indicators to whether or not a deal is good or not. And then naturally you want to be really selective over which deals you throw into best case. Committed deals, you should only do that when you get verbal and contracts are out. I would even say committed deals should just be the deals that you're approaching contract signing. So literally are in Adobe Sign or DocuSign for signature. You want to use that forecast category fairly sparingly, but use best case to be deals that are showing the right level of activity. So you have an alignment to the close date with the stage a deal is in right now. And those would be like the best case deals. Everything else is just fodder. Just get rid of it. So hopefully that helps. And any questions, give us a buzz.